Welcome, everyone, to our Aging and Spirituality podcast. Hopefully, today we're going to find another way to help you to touch into that unrealized potential within each of us. I'm Chris Jensen.
I'm Kathy Lee Taylor.
We are so happy you're with us. So, speaking of being happy, I wanted to talk today about if you're happy and you know it, you may
Clap your
live
hands.
longer. Clap your hands, yes. Listen, this is a Harvard study, okay? And they showed that there's plenty of research that says optimistic people have a reduced risk of heart disease, stroke, declines in lung capacity, and function.
Well, I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, optimism is also associated with lower risk of early death from cancer, infection, and now a new study links optimism to a longer life. Aha,
Ah,
easier than taking a medicine. And then from Hopkins, there's more. They said what is clear in their research is that there's definitely a strong link between positivity and health. Additionally, yeah, more studies have shown that a positive attitude improves outcomes and life satisfaction across the spectrum of conditions, including they've seen it in traumatic brain injury, stroke, brain tumors. This is serious stuff.
that's crazy.
So what does it mean for anybody over 50? It's time to do an attitude check and or an attitude adjustment. Let's take a look. And
No.
I like to share some of this research because it blows my mind. I mean, in yoga, we've known this for years, but so the National Academy of Sciences, they found that people who had higher levels of optimism had a longer lifespan and they had a greater chance of living past 85.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? And both men and women with higher levels of optimism were associated with exceptional longevity. This is another study, which the researchers defined as surviving to 85 or more.
Wow.
And this included overcoming, they had control factors in this, like chronic conditions like hypertension and high cholesterol and health behaviors such as smoking and alcohol use, all of that. So
Yikes.
what's a person to do? If you want to become more optimistic, you can. Even if you're not naturally optimistic, you can take some steps in that direction. First, we should do an attitude check, okay? So it's pretty easy to figure out whether you're optimistic or pessimistic. Of course, there's the old glass of water trick, is it half full or is it half empty? What about your job? Is it half full or half empty? Your family, how do you, what about a good friend? Your life? How do you feel about the world? Just answer a few questions. And if it's not positive, if there isn't anything optimistic in there, then you need to work on it. And most people do need to work on it somewhat. So I can tell you about, I had breast cancer about 4.5 years ago now. So it's been a while. Yeah, and there was this incredible book called After Cancer Care. And it talks about things to do and herbs and things, but it also talked about attitude. And it said that the people who felt like they were cured were, and the people who weren't sure and thought it was going to come back, it did. And
Yikes.
you
The
know,
fear.
they have changed the terminology. Like they
Yeah.
used to say about cancer, it was in remission. Now you're cancer free. You're
Okay.
free of it. And that's a really important difference. And they cited, lots of cases where people just felt they were done and they were. And so just be aware, just be open no matter what the situation is. If you can have a more positive outlook in that particular situation, it will affect the outcome.
Yes.
Very least your overall health. So here's some things you can do. You can reframe situations, okay? When we confront difficulties, we tend to view the negative aspects of the situation, and we think they're unchangeable. I always thought like my daughter does. She has a way of when if something's a problem for her, she goes down the chute of every possible negative thing that can happen that will never change. she eventually gets to a good outcome, but she has to go down that chute. And I wish she didn't because, I mean,
Got a steep slope.
yeah, it's a slippery slope and you don't need to take it. But no matter how difficult a situation it is, search for any positive aspects or silver lining. There are some, there are some. Um, and I remember when they called me to tell me, the results of my biopsy with that breast cancer. And the radiologist said, it is breast cancer, but the good news is it's very early and it's very tiny and prospects are good for a good outcome with this. So, this was a difficult thing, but I was getting the positive information.
That's
And
important.
because I know about optimism and having a positive outlook, I decided to hang on to that. It wasn't that there wasn't some discomfort or angst about the negative part of it, but I wanted to focus on that. And so you can focus on either one, so you might as well pick the one that's more
That's for
upbeat.
sure.
And set goals, make achievable goals every day and adjust as needed. So, be realistic. If you've been really pessimistic all your life, you're not going to become positive in a day. You're not going to have an optimistic outlook in a day, but you can work on it. You can take an activity, say, oh, I need to clean my house. And maybe you just, okay, I could do this because it makes me feel good to do this. I'll do it today, whatever it takes. Set aside some time to focus on the positive. And that's another important thing. Make sure your goal is realistic. If I'm a pessimistic person, maybe within the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to have this much of a change. Maybe I'll have one optimistic thing in my day. And little by little, it will get bigger and bigger. It's like when we start meditating. It's very difficult to sit for a few minutes at first, but you give it some time and effort before you know it. You're looking forward to sitting for 20, 40 minutes. So,
Yeah.
so set a time also to focus on the positive. If you can make it every day, you can make it when you go to bed at night. Think about the positive aspects of your day. That's a nice thing to do. What went well? What are you happy about? What are you proud of? There'll be something if you say,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, well, okay, you're very pessimistic, but you can find something positive if you look for it. You look for it, you find it. Find something. Say it could be the smallest thing in creation. Find it. Then practice gratitude. Gratitude, I can't say it enough, how much that puts us into the positive frame. Like if someone talks about what a difficult life they've had, but you know about this. I was talking to someone who was practicing yoga and they talked about all this difficulty they'd had in their life. And I said, that's true, but look, you now have all these techniques to have a better life. You want to put the weight on where it can be. I have a friend whose husband is having a very serious surgery and he they didn't expect that he would make it necessarily, but the surgery was successful and they said he might make it. And she had a really good attitude. She said, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm really happy now. And that's the kind of attitude that will make a difference.
That'll definitely make a difference.
Yeah. And there are lots of ways you can start your day with, why not start your day with something to be grateful for? One thing at least. And then before you go to bed at night, maybe you think about something positive, something optimistic that happened in your day. That will start to shift your energy in a new direction. And then there's the thing about the half smile. It's a psychotherapy technique that helps people cope with sad feelings for a few minutes a day. It's not a full smile, it's a half smile. Just notice just a little smile like that. Notice the impact on your whole being.
Can't do that without laughing.
Yeah, a positive attitude can change the way you see the world, the way you see others. It's going to make you more alert. less depressed, more productive, better able to solve problems, work well with others, you name it. I mean,
Yeah.
just try it, see the difference. If you're having a pessimistic approach to anything, just sit down and write down what could be positive about it and focus on that and see what happens. See what happens in the experience and in how you feel. Just important thing from the National Institute of Health. Very simple sentence based on a lot of research. Happiness was significantly associated with lower mortality.
Mm, wow.
Yeah. So think about that, you know.
That'll make you want to have a new habit, create a new habit really
Right,
quickly.
right there. Be happy.
That's what you're doing. You're really creating new habits. You know, when you have these old thoughts that are, I always say this to myself, when I have these old thoughts, well, not a lot of them there anymore, but I see them like little worms going through the sand, you know, they're creating these pathways. And if I want to create a new habit, I got to get new worms.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got to start creating new pathways, you know, through my brain. And you can do that. It's not hard. All of those things that Chris has said so far, if you practice those, you will create a new energy that
Mhm.
moves through your life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's a breath that I do teach in the pranayama class in yoga, and I just thought it would be fun to do here because it's a laughter breath, and
Okay.
it helps you shift gears. It kind of forces you into a little bit happier mode in a very loving way. So here, you know what? It's best if I just talk us through it
Okay.
as we do it. We're not going to do it very long, but first we're going to put our attention right at the base of the nose. Just watch your breath coming and going. Now, as you watch your breath, if thoughts and feelings come up, be aware of them, knowing there's no right answer, no wrong direction. You don't have to control your breath, you're just aware of it. So we'll do this for about a minute. Now, as you're doing this, just start laughing, even if it's forced, and there's nothing to laugh about. It doesn't have to make sense. Just let the energy of laughter ripple through your body. Do it for at least 30 seconds or so. Then you can return to watching the breath and then start laughing again. And we're going to do this for a couple minutes and I'll remind you to start laughing. So we're watching our breath and just start laughing. You can force it. Don't worry if you look silly.
It's not hard. It's so easy for me to laugh. Oh my gosh. You look up, we look so stupid.
I know, it's okay. Okay. And then just take a breath. You just watch the breath, just keep watching it, and then start laughing again.
Oh my gosh.
Then we go back to breathing. We're going to do it one more time. Watch the breath. When you're ready, start laughing again.
My squinty eyes. Yee.
Okay, I can't, I couldn't do much of the breath because once the laughter starts, I want to keep laughing. But
Oh my gosh.
you're going to let that laughter rise through your body. And you notice where it lives in your body, and are there places
Yeah.
in your body that desire more laughter and joy in your life? You know, how can you allow yourself that joy and pleasure? So, but you saw how simple this was. I mean, I didn't want to stop laughing.
And you feel really lighter. It's
Yeah, you
lighter.
feel lighter and better. And so do that. I mean, that's another way to help you become more positive, more optimistic. Do that's a simple thing. Do a little breathing, laugh, and notice if there's something in you that resists it. I mean, what I find is when I'm doing that breath, I can't stop laughing. Then it's hard to go back to breathing. I just want to keep laughing.
And there might be stuff that's like stuck in your body somatically. It'll kick it right out.
Yeah, it'll kick it out. Yeah, it will. It will.
Yeah.
So, think about it. It's worth taking just a little bit of time in each day to make the shift, to think about what's positive rather than negative. There's always something positive. There's always a blessing. I mean, people talk about, the COVID pandemic. There were many blessings in it for people. So, there was horribleness, yes, but on the upside, there were many blessings for people. So
There's always a positive and a blessing in every situation. Look for it.
look for it. Look for it. Look for it, you'll find it. And you'll uplift yourself and everyone around you. And if you think about optimistic, positive people, they're a lot more fun to be around. A lot more fun to be around.
That's for sure. And it's a big part of the spiritual journey.
It is.
Making purpose.
Yeah.
To be in a place that is something that you want to share with somebody,
Yeah.
and they want to be with you because you feel good.
Right. And by the way, when I said at the beginning, if you're happy and you know it, you may live longer, that came directly out of the Harvard study. So
Like that.
yeah, you will live, you may live longer. So we leave you with that food for thought today. And I hope you enjoy this and you have some positive experiences the rest of the day today.
Yeah. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.